stakeholders have been consulted, residents, I believe buskers were individually approached and were advised about the consultation. In particular, around Mr. Walker, I believe that he met up with officers who had ample opportunities of feeding back. And I believe it is about residents, the buskers, local authority and the police working together, finding the best way moving forward. And I believe this policy has that sort of balanced approach. And if you look at the consultation on page 72, people who are asked whether the council should adopt a policy, and even though Mr. Walker made reference in relation to his deputation, if you look at page 72, if you look at the breakdown of different kind of respondents, the figure is approximately 63.6% of the residents are supporting the policy. One also has to distinguish the overall response, which is over 143, but majority of were buskers, and I believe that majority of them don't even leave the borough. And I think one has to take into account of residents, and I think buskers have a choice. Residents don't have a choice. That's their home. That's where they live. And I think we, as a council, have a duty of care to ensure that the quality of life is not impacted. Just to come back to clarity, Mr. Walker made reference as part of his deputation that there are current legislation. So if I couldn't ask him, in particular around the Local Authority Act, are there any act that specifically is available to local authority without adopting this particular policy that we're able to deal with street entertainment?
I think it's true to say that there are other pieces of legislation available and powers that exist that deal with the concept of nuisance. I think it's also true to say that local authorities, when it comes to street entertainment and busking, find it difficult to mould those pieces of legislation and those powers to deal with the specific activity of street entertainment and busking. And so Parliament has provided the London Local Authorities Act to deal with it specifically and to address concerns that arise from that activity. And so on that basis, I would say that it is fair to say that there's a recognition that local authorities have specific issues to address around this type of activity. And the legislation that's available to do that is the London Local Authorities Act, but not other pieces of legislation as effectively.